Lewis Hamilton revealed that he had an exchange of whispers with Ferrari not too long ago, but what stopped him from pulling the trigger was that he wasn't too keen on the idea of moving to Italy. Hamilton's future with Mercedes in Formula One was a hot topic throughout the first half of 2023. Despite the general expectation that he would renew his contract with Mercedes, there were ongoing delays in making an official announcement. This opened the door for more speculation about Hamilton potentially joining Ferrari, with rumors circulating once again. Both Hamilton and Ferrari consistently dismissed these rumors. During an interview with Blick, Hamilton clarified that Ferrari had never formally presented him with a contract offer, but he acknowledged that the notion of him switching to Maranello had come up in informal discussions before. Nevertheless, Hamilton couldn't see himself fully embracing life in Italy. When asked about the possibility of Ferrari having made a contract offer in the past, Hamilton responded, saying, "Never. Okay, I'm sure we've had a few casual conversations. I know a lot of good people there, but I never felt ready to move to Italy." Instead of outside interest from a team like Ferrari, Hamilton disclosed the real factors behind the prolonged contract negotiations with Mercedes. He pointed to his promotional commitments as a major contributing factor. Hamilton emphasized that this wasn't the first instance of him and Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff engaging in protracted negotiations. Hamilton praised Wolff as a great leader and thought the negotiation process went smooth and straightforward. He said, "This is not the first time that the two of us discussed for hours and haggled over details, always under the motto, from Thursday to Sunday, I belong exclusively to Formula One. There are so many details about my promotional activities. I'm in a happy position with Toto. He is respected and admired by everyone. It's easy to negotiate with him, and that makes him a great leader." Hamilton recently inked a fresh 2-year agreement with Mercedes, extending his partnership with the Silver Arrows until the conclusion of 2025. His teammate, George Russell, will also continue with the team. With this new contract, Hamilton is set to stay in Formula One beyond his 40th birthday. However, he has made it clear that once he decides to step away from racing, he doesn't plan on making a comeback. Hamilton shared a playful moment with Sebastian Vettel when the latter retired from Formula One last year, joking that successful drivers who leave the sport always find their way back. Interestingly, Vettel hasn't completely dismissed the idea of making a return to the grid in the future, leaving the door open to that possibility. Regarding Hamilton, it appears that he has a clear stance on the matter. Once he decides to step away from Formula One, he seems to believe that will mark the end of his driving career. When asked about the possibility of retiring and then making a comeback, Hamilton stated his perspective, saying, "That will not happen to me. When the chapter is over, that's when it's over. I can't imagine standing in the paddock or in the garage without then getting into a car. But as I've said before, never say never." Achieving an 8th World Championship could potentially serve as a fitting endpoint for Hamilton's career, should he manage to reach that milestone. Such an accomplishment would establish a remarkable benchmark in the sport's history, but Hamilton emphasized that his decision to retire hinges on the upcoming season and his ability to secure another championship. He stated that only after clinching another title would he be able to determine if the time has arrived to step away from the sport. "I never said that the 8th title would be a stop signal for me, but I'll only know that when I actually get there. You can hardly achieve the big goals in Formula One without a great car. Nobody." Lewis Hamilton is undeniably one of Formula One's all-time greats, yet like any other driver, he hasn't been immune to recent criticism. Since the 2021 season, he has been in pursuit of his 8th World Championship, and despite coming remarkably close, he has so far been unable to secure it. The pursuit of his 8th World Championship became even more challenging in 2022 due to the uncompetitive machinery that Mercedes produced. Hamilton's last Formula One Grand Prix victory was during the inaugural Saudi Arabian GP in 2021. Since then, the highest he has achieved is a second-place finish, which occurred on multiple occasions. While the primary cause of this performance gap can be blamed on the nature of the car he has been driving over the past 2 seasons, Lewis Hamilton has faced growing criticism from a segment of the audience. Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff finds this criticism offensive. Wolff said that he feels like it's his responsibility to shield Lewis Hamilton from the offensive attitude that some people have developed toward him. "I need to protect him, because people have started to offend him, which is not right. It's complete nonsense. He's the best driver of all time. I pinch myself every day for working with the best of all time." Luckily for Sir Lewis, all hope is not lost. Red Bull team principal Christian Horner believes that it's just a matter of time before he and Toto Wolff's intense rivalry reignites. Beyond the Formula One drivers on the racetrack, the off-track feud between Horner and Mercedes' Toto Wolff has been nearly as captivating and passionate. This rivalry played out during the entirety of the 2021 season as their respective drivers battled for the championship. The intense rivalry has simmered down over the past 2 seasons, with only occasional disagreements as Mercedes faced challenges and Red Bull secured back-to-back Constructors' Championships in 2022 and 2023. During an appearance on the ESPN podcast Unlapped, Christian Horner was questioned about the current status of his relationship with Wolff. This conversation comes as Red Bull edges closer to securing both titles this year, with Max Verstappen having the opportunity to clinch a 3rd consecutive championship in Qatar. Horner said, "I haven't seen much of him recently, so of course, there's competition and needle, but there's also a respect, and that's important." Anticipating a future where teams like Mercedes may regain their competitive edge in 2024 as the ground effect regulations evolve, Horner expressed his belief that it's only a matter of time before Mercedes makes a comeback to challenge for championship titles once again. They're a great team. They're a big team. They've achieved record-breaking in so many areas. We don't underestimate them. They'll be back at some point for sure. I'm sure then Toto will have plenty to say. When reflecting on the significant transformation in his life and that of the Red Bull team since their return to the pinnacle of Formula One in 2021, Horner expressed a sense of amazement. He mentioned that he often has to pinch himself when considering the position his team currently occupies, which is less than 2 years later. He said, "We're only about 19 months on from 2021. It's amazing how things change, because in 21, we were the challenger. We were going up against the Goliath Mercedes, and we were the David. They steamrolled the previous 7 years in the sport, and so, we were the challenger. We had nothing to lose. We're throwing everything at it, and we were on the ascendancy, and we pulled it off. In 2022, 23, suddenly we produced a great car, and we started winning, serial winning, and then, at that point, you become a target, and people are trying to take your staff or your sponsors, or trying to cause issues elsewhere with whatever politics they can play. Yeah, it's a lonely place when you're at the top, but I think that the way that the team has responded has just been fantastic. The results of what we achieved in 22 were insane. The fact that we might even be able to match that or beat that in 23 is beyond crazy. The 2021 season served as a stark reminder of how intense a title battle can be between 2 rivals, both among the drivers and the teams. Horner acknowledged that the campaign of going head-to-head with Mercedes had been mentally taxing and draining. When asked if he prefers chasing or being chased, he said, "I sleep better at the moment than I did in 2021. I'd rather have 250 points in the pocket than 2. It was the most intense, insane period, because there was so much going on track and off track. I didn't have a single gray hair before 2021. It aged me. It was the most intense, insanely intense year that you could ever imagine. It was like a heavyweight fight from the first race in Bahrain to that final round in Abu Dhabi." What do you think of Lewis Hamilton needing Toto Wolff's protection from the naysayers? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell for the hottest F1 news.